Hello and welcome to another real-time composing episode. We're going to be looking at some Christmas pop today, so this should be fun. Remember, there's a playlist with loads more of these sort of videos over there somewhere, and like and subscribe is always appreciated. So this week we're embracing the modern, fun, festive side of the holidays, as the description says. I'll put it underneath the video so you can read it in full. And musically, we're thinking of sleigh bells, pop grooves, vibrant synths, that sort of thing. We're thinking about programs like the Real Housewives Holiday Special, group gatherings on Love Island. You get the idea. So already in my head, I've got some ideas. I'm thinking Christmas pop. We need to be upbeat, 130 BPM, 128 is quite popular because it subdivides quite nicely, but let's go for 130. I'm thinking of a band being on stage playing it, but in these sort of Christmas pop songs that you might see, you can have orchestral elements as you might see on TV. Okay, let's have a go at coming up with a chord sequence, I guess. Right, to start off with, I've just kept it nice and simple, alternating between C and C sus2 in the piano. And that just repeats, and I've just picked out some bass notes to go with it. So it's just F, G, C, D, E. So we're effectively doing F major, and then via G major, we're going to C major, D minor, E minor. So we're all in the key of C. Okay, what's next? Well, tubular bells were always going to fit in, weren't they? I've done following the bass line. Apart from towards the end, they do a sort of peal, as you might hear in church bells. I've also put some spiccato strings. I started off with these BBC SO Violin 1 spiccatos, but I've added the Colossus strings spiccato as well. I think I might need to bring that Violin 1 down a bit. That sounds quite nice. Okay, starting to come together. Let's find something else. Okay, I've gone for adding some sleigh bells. Now previously I've done this on one track, but this time I thought I'd show you another technique you can use. So this track on its own sounds a bit empty. When we add the other one in, a lot fuller. What have I done? Well, on this track, these sleigh bells are just from the Logic library. What I've done is I've pitched it down by one tuning amount and minus 20 cents. So -1 and -20. On the other one, I have pitched it -1 and +10. So they're ever so slightly out of tune. And by taking them down one notch, we're taking it away from the original sample as well. And because we're not doing that much to it, we're not distorting the sound. So nice little bit of sleigh bells to accompany everything else now. Okay, let's find something else. I've gone for a bit of brass, as you can see. So we've got the horns playing this relatively simple melody. The trumpet is identical, just an octave above, and it gives that majestic feel to the tune as it comes in the second half of this repetition. So remember, we're building up a big palette of sounds on top of each other, and this is something I think is going to work quite nicely throughout the piece as we build it in part 2. But for now, let's keep adding stuff. Well, it was starting to sound a little bit empty to me, so I've gone to UJam and grabbed these strings library, and what I've done is I've split them out. So usually when you start this, you'd have the high strings and the low strings playing together. So it's the same part, but each of these, one is the highs and one is the lows, so at least I can separate them out later. But they give a really nice full And they're great for providing inspiration. It's possible you can use this and then break it out into your own parts as well, but a really quick way to add quite a bit of body, like in that. Right, next, percussion maybe. Okay, so I've used Logic's Session Drummer here, and as you can hear, I've limited it to just the kick in this intro section. There's a couple of fills and a nice one at the end. And I think I'm going to lead that into the next section. But what I noticed when I put this with the rest of the track is the bass line, which is this, gets lost. So what I've done is I've swapped it out. So if I mute that and I've put this Native Instruments bass in. Much fuller sound. I think that works a lot nicer. I might as well get rid of that, but I have synced this to follow the rhythm of that prime bass disco bass, so I need to change that to follow the Native Instruments classic. And then we can safely get rid of that one. There we go. So it's sometimes a matter of remembering all these little tweaks you're doing, which is why I like to do this whole building up of a big palette first, because all those little changes and links that you might make while you're putting the instruments together, at least they're in your mind forefront as things are changing. That's sounding pretty good. I'm going to have a listen back and see if there's anything else I fancy adding. Okay, so I haven't really done anything extra here. I've just copied out those sections again. I've played around with the trumpets cutting in or out, and I've put a couple of fills in. There's also an ending note at the end, funnily enough. And just for fun, as you will hear when I play this in the outro, I've used damaged guitars to add a bit of rock to it as well. I think that's going to do it for part one. Part two, we're going to come back and structure this out to minute 32. We're almost halfway there at 45 seconds already. So this should come together really quickly. Don't forget like and subscribe. That is always appreciated. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.